All right, muted, spotlighted. Where is everybody today? All right. So let's begin. Balance evenly on the sits bones. Lengthen through the inner thighs, from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, both sides. Before class, some people were saying one side's working more than the other. Can you spread the intelligence to both sides of the body? And if you're, I've been more flexible with the feet lately. If you're engaging your feet, which means really pushing the heels out, are you doing that evenly on both feet? Or the truth is, I prefer the other one where the soles begin to turn up. But are you doing that mindfully, not just that's where they wound up? And do you have a sense of evenness on the two sides? Draw from the outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips. And you may notice, you're likely to notice that one hip draws in more than the other. Maybe even one hip goes in and one hip either doesn't do anything or goes out. Can you move the femur bones into the hip sockets? Move the hip sockets themselves. Imagine they're moving towards each other. I know it's a bone there, it doesn't really happen, but we're really talking about energy. And can you bring an awareness to both sides of the body? As you lengthen to the side ribs, can you find an evenness? Which side gets stuck? And can you not just keep going into the flexibility of the side that is unstuck, but can you bring more awareness to the side that may be stuck and have the side that is more flexible match it? Maybe it actually needs to do a little bit less, so there's an evenness. Allow the shoulders to move away from the sides of the neck, the elbows to drop, and bring your palms together at your heart. Touch the palms evenly. Notice which palm presses more. And can you adjust evenly? And another place that I think we began to overdo it was this opening of the chest. Yes, the chest needs to be open, but sometimes we sacrifice the back. We close the back, which then closes the back heart. It closes the back lungs. So can you, yes, broaden across the chest from the center of the sternum over to the corners of the shoulders? And can you also spread across that top of the back, the chest of the back, from between the shoulder blades to the back corner of the shoulders? 60% of your lungs are on the back body. How does that adjustment change the way your breath flows through your body? Again, you don't need to breathe, the breath breathes you. But how do these adjustments change the experience of the breath as it breathes you? Draw your eyes back and down to gaze at your heart as you soften all the facial features. And even notice the face. Is there an evenness on the sides of the face? Is one eye still pressing against the eyelid, or maybe both eyes? Can you draw both eyes back and down to rest into your cheekbones? And can you find an evenness with the way the eyes are resting? Let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together, exhaling completely. Keep inhalation. Notice your hands again. Is one hand pushing more than the other? I noticed as I moved my awareness to the Oms, one hand took over. So even that out. Broaden across the front chest, broaden across the back chest. Keep the chest lifted, don't collapse the chest, and lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. The back of your head, gently let your eyelids open. Straighten your legs. So Tadasana, you can be on the floor if you don't scoop the back. Otherwise, a lift will help you not take it in the back. Fingertips by your hips. Or if you're flat on the floor, you can do flat hands. See that your shoulders remain above your hips. As long as we started with this sense of evenness, see how long I remember the theme. Sometimes I forget midway through and move to something else. But can you balance evenly on the sit bones? Now the thigh does press down. Often I say the top of the thigh. And that's because a lot of people just jam their knees down. And I'm trying to bring your awareness away from the knees. So if you're pressing your knees down, get your awareness away from the knees, press the tops of the thighs down. But also then, if you have that, press the center thighs down. The very center. Press that down. So if you're on the floor, there's more contact with the floor. If you're off the floor, it's moving towards the floor, the center. And notice which leg is working more. For me, it's non-mirroring, and this is my real left leg. This one, I can feel it pressing down more. So now I need to adjust. So I'm bringing more awareness to the opposite leg, see if it can match it. Well, maybe not quite there, so I have to back off a little bit on the left one. Now they appear in my feeling, not appear sight, appear in my feelings to be more even, but they're working completely differently to get there. So how can you study yourself? How can you study the pose to work unevenly to get a sense of evenness? Lengthen from the inner thighs, through the inner knees, through the inner heels. Lengthen also from the inner thighs to the lower abdomen. Again, can you notice an evenness on the two sides? Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Can you find an evenness on the two sides? Lift up through the side ribs, again, an evenness. So for me, it's the left side that gets stuck. So I need to bring more awareness there. Doesn't mean ignore the opposite side. It just means bring more awareness. Because Iyengar talks about spreading the intelligence. Can you spread the intelligence? And can you broaden across both the front chest and the back chest? Now, if one is really more collapsed, if you're collapsing, then yes, lift the chest and broaden. But if you've been lifting and broadening for, a couple decades, or if you have a sense of that it is open, can you open the back chest as well? Broaden across the front and the back. Now you simply want to maintain, because that work was more the unimportant work, but it was necessary to get us here to a place where you can observe the breath. And see if you can, without forcing a breath, without forcing a deep breath, without doing anything like that, can you just guide the breath to touch the front, back, and side bodies equally? That it's not all just banging against the front body. Spread your legs. You may have to adjust your height here. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to come down. But on the floor does not work for everyone. So a height can definitely be beneficial here. Depends where you are, where your body is today. I was going to say where you are in your practice, but that's not actually true. It's where your body is today. So you want your kneecaps pointing up. That means for most of us, the thighs have to turn in slightly. I'm not that concerned today. The traditional pose, you'd have your fingertips forward, but I am taking we're going to be here for a moment. So I get a little bit more balance if I turn my fingertips back. So that's fine if you want to do that. You can try both, see what you like today. And again, I don't want you to jam your knees down. It is a straight leg, but press your thighs down. So that can be the top of the thigh if you're still backing away from your knees, or ultimately the center thigh. But then notice which leg works more than the other. And can you send your awareness, send your intelligence to the opposite leg so that it begins to work more evenly? Or perhaps work more unevenly to gain a sense of evenness. And so I'm speaking more slowly. We're spending a little bit longer here because it actually takes some time to work unevenly to get a sense of evenness. It takes longer. Lengthen from the inner thighs through the inner knees, through the inner ankles, also from the upper inner thighs back to the abdomen. Find that evenness, that sense of evenness, even if you have to work unevenly to get it. Draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Again, finding that sense of evenness. I have to work my right leg, so even at 20 years of doing this, and I really have to draw that femur bone into the hip socket on the right side. It doesn't understand yet. Doesn't look like Chai is here to remind me of the yet. She's always good at remembering that one. But I can remember to bring my intelligence there, because now after all these years, I actually have that knowledge. I know that that's what happens. So I can bring my intelligence there, spread the intelligence so that it works. Lift up through the side ribs evenly. Broaden across the front and back bodies. Allow the breath to touch the front, back, and sides of the body. If I don't bring that awareness to the breath, it only hits the front of the body. So I've been working over the last months of ensuring that the breath touches more than just the front of the body. And that's not new. I mean, someone asked me, is that, are we doing these new things? No, I was actually taught that when I was back in LA. I didn't understand it then fully because I was still trying, all my awareness was here, but it's not new. Take hold of the inside of your knees, lift up, bring your feet together. They'll go partly together. You can bring them the rest of the way. If you're on a lift, and you might just have to adjust now from Upavista Konasana to Baddha Konasana. So if you're on a lift, see if you can get a strap. If you don't, you can just take your hands by your hips. It's okay. Otherwise, get a strap and reach down and hold there. Otherwise, you can, if you're on the floor, you can take your hands, interlace your fingers together and hold underneath your foot. Now be careful here because there's a tendency to pull up. The hands want to pull the feet up. So I want you to take the feet, if your hands are around your feet, push your feet into your hands and push into the ground. Or floor or mat. I guess it's not really ground, but you guys get the idea. Balance evenly on the sits bones. Lengthen from the upper inner thighs to the inner knees, from the upper inner thighs to the lower abdomen. But today, really focus on that sense of evenness. Which one understands more? Which one has the intelligence? And can you spread the intelligence? Can you work unevenly to gain a sense of evenness? Drop from the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips together. Which hip does the work? Which one doesn't? This is really going deeper into the practice, deeper into svadhyaya, self-study. Some people think going deeper into yoga is simply doing the more complex poses. And I'm not against complex poses. They're wonderful. But if you're just doing it from the surface for a picture, you're not really going deeper. This is being here and witnessing and studying you, that's going deep into yoga. That will get you further to stilling the fluctuations of the mind. Lift up through the side ribs evenly. See if you can straighten the arms and so lift this. Yeah. Still around your feet means you have to lengthen the side ribs more. No, don't lean back. Just become taller. Hands. I know you have long arms. No. Go like this. Yeah. Yeah. Turn those. Yeah. Turn those. There you go. There. Right. But now broaden across the front chest and back chest equally. And they don't have to be locked straight. Study. As soon as your mind wanders, you'll notice the unevenness comes back. Even I give an instruction to someone, and then if I go back to my body, I realize, oh, the left side's doing all the work again, simply because I spoke. Release. Take your hands on the outside of your knees, push your legs together. Pull behind one knee, draw the flesh towards the buttock, drag the heel. Other leg, draw the flesh towards the buttock, drag the heel. Hands by your hips, Tadasana. We won't be here long, but can you get that sense of evenness? Thighs down, center of the thighs, press in. If the knees go, then move the awareness to the tops of the thighs. Lengthen the inner legs, outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips. Now study evenness. Side ribs, even. Front and back bodies, even. And release. Come to standing. Take your feet together, Tadasana. If you want the feet hip distance apart, you can do that version. That's fine. Even on both feet. Is there an evenness of weight? Evenness on the inner and outer foot. Lengthening from the inner knees to the lower abdomen evenly. The thighs do press back, right? Not just the knees, but the thighs. So take the center thighs back. If it feels like you're going to your knees, yes, take the top thighs back. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. Again, can you find a sense of evenness? Work unevenly to get that sense of evenness. Lengthen up through the side ribs evenly. Which side is stuck? And don't just force the unstick. It's not like, okay, I'm going to force it, but can you spread the intelligence there so that it begins to do the work? The shoulders to move away from the sides of your neck. Now, as you extend through the arms, extend evenly. Which arm wants to work harder? And then the breath. Where before you adjust it, where is it touching? Is it in the front body? Is it in the back body? Is it in the sides? Is it a mixture? And as you broaden across the chest, as you broaden across the back chest, can you allow the breath to touch the front, back, and sides of the body equally? For me, I have to work my arms differently in order to do that. Take your arms out to the sides. Rotate the arms up. Watch those ribs. Bring the front ribs back. Are you still balanced evenly on the feet? You're still balanced evenly on the inner feet and the outer feet. Your legs still working. From your armpits, push your arms up. They should go up evenly. Mirror images of each other. On your arms, squeeze the flesh to the muscle, muscle to the bone. Evenly on the two sides. Turn your arms out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Are you still balanced evenly on your feet? Are your legs still working evenly? We teach a Trikonasana, triangle pose. Take your fingertips up by your chest, bend your legs, jump or stuff your feet apart. So start here, find an evenness. Is there more weight on one foot than the other? I'd be surprised if there isn't. Are the thighs pressing back evenly? Are you lifting from the outer knees to the outer hips evenly? The side is lifting evenly. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Take your front heel in line with your back arch. Now this is a non-symmetrical pose, so now we do both sides, you want to find an evenness on the two sides, because you have to use some memory. What was it like on the other side? So press the back thigh back, press the back heel. Turn the front thigh out, lift both outer knees to outer hips. Inhale, exhale, take your hand down. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Broaden across the chest, front chest, broaden across the back chest. And let the breath touch front, back, and sides of the body evenly. Veronica, if you come up a little higher on your shin, you'll be able to lean back a little bit more. Right now, your back is more open than the front. There you go. Pull yourself up and up. Parallel your feet. Pause for now. You're symmetrical. Can you take a moment here and regain that sense of symmetry? Left foot in. I'm sorry, right foot in, left leg out. Press the back heel. The back thigh moves back. Press the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact those hips together. Inhale. Exhale. Come down. Keep lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. Keep lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. Open the front and back sides of the body. And allow the breath to touch the front, back, and sides of the body equally. How does working with the breath in this way change the experience of the pose? Reach up, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Now we're back in symmetry. Bounce evenly on the feet. Thighs back. Evenly. When I said that, which thigh pressed back, which thigh didn't? Or did they both press back, but maybe one more, maybe one less? Or did it do it evenly, which is great? Lengthening through the side ribs evenly, opening the front and back bodies evenly. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior pose 2, fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step. Left foot in, right leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Pressing through the back heel, bend the front leg. Knee over the ankle, knees too far at the end. Knee over the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor. You're leaning here, Veronica. Take your torso straight up. Spine perpendicular to the floor. Spine perpendicular to the floor. Keep pressing the back heel. Open the front chest, open the back chest. And let the breath touch the front, back sides of the body evenly. Pull with the back arm, straighten your leg, parallel your feet. Come to symmetry for a moment. Left foot in, right foot in, left leg out. Press the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Keep pressing the back heel. Reach that back arm, bend the front leg. Keep that spine perpendicular to the floor. Right, spine perpendicular to the floor. Knees in a square. Draw the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips, broaden across the front and back sides of the body. Let the breath touch the front, back, and sides of the body. Pull with the back arm, straighten the leg. Parallel the feet, jump or step your feet together. Take a chair. Have the front of your chair facing me. We're going to sit. We're still in Virabhadrasana 2. So this knee is at a right angle here, and your leg is back. Now, for some people, the leg won't really go straight back. You may have to take it out here a little bit. It's actually harder on a chair. Yeah, if you have to take your leg further forward in order to get it, it's okay. But try not to go here in the inner foot. See if you can. There you go. Good, both of you. Torso towards me. So why am I doing this? Because at least here, 3/4 of the room here, were like this, with that the spine was at an angle to the floor, and I want you to have your spine upright, spine perpendicular to the floor. Now, yeah, the back thigh goes back, not just the knee, but the thigh. So watch the knee, Joe. Do from the thigh. It's okay if the leg doesn't go back. Because part of it also, to be clear, all of us in the room are different heights. Everyone at home is different heights. And yet these chairs are the same height. So there's that too. You can't put blankets on the chair and things like that to change the height. But take this back thigh back and press into the outer rim of the back heel. Yes, we're still lengthening the groin. We're still drawing both outer knees to outer hips. Now I want you to really lift through the side ribs. Lift through the side ribs. See if you can, Sean, move your torso that way. Not just the head, but the whole, from here. That's it. Now your spine is closer to upright. Take your belly button without letting the knee follow. Now, I'm not asking you to injure yourself. I want to be clear, but just take your, and if you really look at my leg, my hip is not open enough to have my knee, my thigh totally parallel to the wall, although I'm working on it. But from here, just take your hand on your knee so it doesn't follow you. Don't push harshly on it. Be kind to yourself. But then take your belly button towards that back leg so that the torso is more parallel to the front and back walls without the knee following. So you're just gently guiding it back, but you're not looking to injure yourself. Karen, with your replacement hips, obviously be careful and don't let other muscles take over where they shouldn't be. And then maintain that, extend the arms. So here we are. Everybody has a perpendicular spine. So now you know you can do it, because guess what? We are doing it again without the chair. But I want you to study, especially the relationship to your front leg. I want you to study this relationship of your torso to your front leg, because it should feel exactly the same once the chair is removed. Capiche? That's an ancient Sanskrit word. All right, hands down. Parallel your feet, scooch to the center of your chair. And I have to move my chair a little bit just to be centered, but you just go to the other side. So again, your back leg may not be able to have the heel to arch alignment. You might need to take your back leg forward. You are not the first, and there's nothing wrong. But do press the thigh back and extend into the outer heel. Even if you're not getting to it, extend towards that outer heel. Lengthen through the inner groin of the front leg. Again, if you really looked at me, I don't know how it looks on the camera, but if you saw close up, I can see my thigh bone isn't parallel to the wall. I'm trying, I'm working on it. I have tight hips. And it's harder on a chair. It's much harder on a chair. Draw your outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips together. So this side, your torso is nice and upright. So notice the differences of the two sides, right? Now, hand on the knee, turn the belly button towards the back leg. Keep your spine perpendicular to the floor. Notice the tendency that it wants to move towards that front leg and just resist it. And again, not by leaning the shoulders back, but by taking that whole torso. Then you begin to find out what's stuck too. And it might not be what you think it is. Then extend the arms. And study this relationship of this upright torso, the spine perpendicular to the floor, with especially that front leg. The back leg too, but for some of us, the back leg isn't where it will be when we're standing. And then bring your hands down, carefully scoot your buttocks to the center of the chair as you parallel your feet. And then get up. Tadasana. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step wide. Virabhadrasana 2, one more time. So let's start with hands on hips. So it'll be like we did on the chair. So left foot and right leg out. The back thigh turns back. When the back thigh turns back, it takes the ribs with it, so your torso is more parallel to the walls. Of course, the front thigh still needs to turn out. Press the back heel, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. Now, notice your spine. Your spine's perpendicular to the floor, right? So your torso floats in space. You're not moving it. You're bending the leg. Really, you're taking your buttocks and your femur bone down. So picture this as taking your buttocks and femur bone down. Exhale, buttocks and femur bone down. The torso just floats in space until that knee is in a square. Now keep pressing the back heel. Now again, you can take your hand gently on the knee. If it has to move, it has to move. But gently on the knee and take the belly button towards that back leg so that the torso is squared to the front and back walls. Torso upright. That looks really good, Sean. Does it feel different? Now maintain that, extend the arms, gaze over the front fingertips, finish the pose. Now study. Broaden across the front and back chests, and let the breath touch the front, back, and sides of the body evenly. Pull with your back arm, straighten your leg. Parallel your feet, hands on hips. Come to, we're resting the arms, yes, but come to a sense of evenness here. Right, I had a drill. One foot was in front of the other. Get yourself even, get yourself symmetrical again. Balance evenly on the 2 feet, balance evenly on the inner and outer feet. Lengthen through the side ribs evenly, right? You don't just have to wait. Turn your right foot and turn your left leg out. Take your front heel in line with your back arch. Press the back heel. The back thigh goes back. Press the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. Press that back heel. Keep pressing the back heel. Now, again, spine perpendicular to the floor. Everyone's spine is perpendicular to the floor now. It's going to float in space as you drop the buttock in the top of the femur bone. Just dropping the buttock in the top of the femur bone. The torso just floats, 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 floats. Better, Veronica. Do you feel a difference, Veronica? Now, gently touching that front of the knee, nothing harsh. Take that belly button towards your back leg. And this relationship of the torso to that front leg should be the same as when you were in the chair. Still compact the hips together. Now extend the arms. Gaze over the front fingertips. Broaden across the front and back chest. Let the breath touch the front, back, sides of the body evenly. Reach to the back arm, straighten the front leg. Parallel the feet, jump or step the feet together. Tadasana. Balance evenly on the feet. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Lengthen the inner thighs. Lift up through the side ribs. All right, let's do it. We did a little of this the other day. Let's take his chair, as long as we're using the chair. Prasarita Padottanasana. Spread the feet wide, and everybody will use the chair today. I know everyone didn't use it the other day. Let's everyone use the chair today, because this is just a wonderful, peaceful pose. You can take your hands on the chair. Now find a sense of evenness first. So press the thighs back, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. You just come down so you're about level with the chair. You can fold your arms here and rest your forehead either on your forearms or on the chair itself. One of those may feel better for you. Pick the one that feels better. Now you do want your buttocks to be in line with your heels. So see that the thighs do press back, but see that your hips aren't going back. Right? So press the thighs back, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to do it and do it this way was because you really can begin to find that sense of evenness here, going back to the symmetrical poses. So really press the thighs back, but notice which one goes back first. And find it, I should have started with the feet. So I'm going to take that back for a second. I mean, the thighs do press back. But can you balance evenly on the feet and then find an evenness between the inner and outer foot? And ensure that the feet are the same. So you can glance over to your feet a little bit, each one, and make sure that they are both pointed equally straight. And then press the thighs back. All right, so we're still here. Press the thighs back evenly. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. And again, I want you to notice which one is working harder. Lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. And Tim, if it's, that's fine what you're doing, Tim. If it's easier, you can turn the chair around, put a blanket on the back of the chair, and rest on the back of the back of the chair, whichever works. Find an evenness in the side ribs. And as you rest your skull, either on your forearms or on the chair, can you find an equal resting of the front, an equal resting of the two sides of your brain? And allow the breath to touch the front, back, sides of the body equally. Broaden across, this is a forebend. So often we would pay attention more to the back body. Fill your back body up. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just offering something different today to broaden across the front chest and back chest here in this version of the pose where it's a little more accessible. And let the breath touch the front, sides, and back body equally. This pose can also be really nice for headaches, anxiety, things like that. Now straighten your arms on the chair. Heel toe your feet together just a little bit. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Hands on your hips. Inhale, come up. I'm going to take your feet together, Tadasana. Bounce evenly on the feet, thighs back. Working the legs evenly, lengthening through the side ribs evenly. And release. All right, turn the chair so the back, same way. So just chair on your mat, have the back of the chair facing. Have the right side of your body facing the chair. Square your hips, knees, heels. Keep those front ribs moving towards the back body. So we're going back to the non-symmetrical poses. We're doing some twists right now. But you can start off with a sense of symmetry. Next, in your arms forward, arms up. Lengthen through the side ribs. Inhale. On your exhalation, keep that lift. Exhale, take your arms out to the side, widen. Keep the lift, keep the width. Inhale, exhale, take hold of the sides of the chair. Elbows up, shoulders down. Now broaden across the front of the chest and the back of the chest here. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning, but can you keep a wide front and back chest? Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Broaden across the front and back chest. Shoulders down. Inhale, lifting, exhale, turning. Chin in line with your sternum. Now it's going to feel different here. We're in a twist. So the breath works differently in a twist. So, and I don't want you to force the breath, but can you have an essence of the breath touching the front, back, and side bodies? I won't say evenly, it won't. Or it may, I don't know. I shouldn't say it won't. It's your body, not mine. It may or may not. But can you have an essence that is being directed to the front, back, side bodies? Maintain the lift, maintain the width. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Turn around. Square your hips, knees, heels. Keep those ribs in. Get a sense of symmetry here, even though we're about to lose it. Extend your arms forward, arms up. Keep those ribs in. Reach up. Inhale, exhale, coming down. Widening. Keep the lift, keep the width. Inhale, exhale, take hold of the sides of the chair. Elbows up, shoulders down. Broaden across the front chest and back chest. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. No death grips on that chair, please. Chin in line with your sternum. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Broaden across the front and back chests. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Broaden across the front and back chest. And again, without forcing the breath into a particular area, can you just have the essence that it's trying to expand? It is more compressed, compacted here. And you're not to force it to expand, but can you have the essence that it is seeking what is available on the front, back, and sides of the body? Elbows up, shoulders down. Drop those shoulders. Maintain the lift, maintain the width. Inhale, maintain, exhale, come to center. Come on up, take the chair to the side. Hands on the chair, downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, hands on the chair. Now you're back in a symmetrical pose. So now we're looking for an evenness. Press the thighs back evenly. Heels down, all right? When you're on the chair, heels down. Hands flat. So see that there are no air pockets underneath that ball of the first finger. Kneecaps pointing straight ahead. Press the thighs back to the center of the thigh bone, pressing back. If you're hitting your knee, then bring your awareness up higher. And here, I mean, it really ultimately is the whole thigh. So tops of the thighs back to help bring the hips back too. That will help lengthen the side ribs. Use your abdomen. Take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back. But again, we're seeking a sense of evenness here. Even weight on the hands, even weight on the feet. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips evenly. Press into the heels evenly. Extend through the side ribs as you press those thighs back evenly. Now, maintain all this. Press through the ball of the first finger and thumb, evenly, of course, and roll the upper arms out. Now roll the upper arms in and press towards the outer hand. Roll the upper arms in and press towards the outer hand. Find an evenness between the upper and lower arms, and then an evenness on the two sides. So this is another way to practice downward facing dog. We don't teach it as much. It feels awkward for many the first time they do it. And then go back to the way you may know. Press through the inner hand, roll the upper arms out. And don't think about what I liked better, what I liked worse. Study what was different. Look up, arc your feet forward, Tadasana. Allow the breath to touch the front, back, side, bodies evenly. And release. All right, lie back. Take a strap and lie back. Veronica, so we're going to do the right leg first. You might not have enough room against the wall, so have your right leg away from the wall, and then when we switch sides, you'll turn around, okay? So legs bent, bend the right leg into the chest, put the strap around the foot where the heel meets the arch. Now, no death grips on the strap, please. But if you like, you can always just roll the strap around your hands. That's another way to do it so that you don't have those death grips. That's fine. Press the thigh bone back. So again, yes, you can do the top of the thigh, but ultimately you want to get towards the belly of the thigh. Lengthen through the inner leg, both directions. So out through the inner knee, through the inner ankle, through the ball of the big toe, but also drawing back from the upper inner thigh towards the abdomen. So you're extending outward, but you're lengthening the whole inner leg in both directions. Draw the outer knee to the outer hip, compact the hip together. Or compact the hip, not so much together here. But that femur bone draws into the hip socket. Soften your shoulders. Drag your left heel on the floor, straighten your left leg. And see if you can allow your legs to work evenly. Supta 1. So even though your legs are in different directions, can you have a similar experience of the thighs pressing back, the lengthening of the inner legs, and the outer knees to the outer hips? Now reach up high in the strap with your right hand. Left hand on your left hip or your left thigh, pushing down to keep it down. And take your leg towards you and out to the side. Supta 2. You can rest your upper arm on the floor. If you prefer to reach out with a straight arm, that's fine too. But keep pressing that left side down. And again, now the legs are doing really different things. But can you find an even experience of the thighs pressing back and extending of the inner legs and a drawing of the outer knees to the outer hips? And then even, I didn't say this in Supta 1, but even now the breath. Can you allow the breath to touch the front, back, and side bodies evenly? And now with a straight leg, inhale, take that leg straight up. Hold both sides of the strap for a moment. Again, seeking a similarity in the way the two legs are working, even though they are in different directions, they are doing different things. But even though they're doing different things, there's a sameness to them, to the actions, the thighs, the lengthening of the legs, the contracting of the outer thighs. All right, now reach up with your left hand. Take your right hand on the top of your right thigh where your thigh meets your hip and push back. And then take that right leg over to the left. You don't have to go far. Go to the edge of sensation. Don't go into the pain. Go to the edge of sensation. Still lengthening the inner legs, drawing the outer knees to the outer hips, thighs pressing back. And let the breath touch the front, back sides of the body. And inhale, take your leg back up to center. Hold both sides of the strap. And then release. Bend both legs. Bend your left leg into your chest. Put the strap around your foot where the heel meets the arch. Straighten your left leg. No death grips. Press the thigh bone back. Again, the center of the thigh bone. Yes, if you're going into your knee, move to the top of the thigh or where the thigh meets the hip. But ultimately, that belly of the thigh, the front of the thigh moving to the back of the thigh. And lengthen the inner leg in both directions. Out to the inner knee, to the inner ankle, to the ball of the big toe, back towards the abdomen. Draw the outer knee to the outer hip. Soften the shoulders, no death grips. Drag your right heel on the floor, straighten your right leg. Turn both thighs in. Both thighs back, lengthening the inner legs. Drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. And even though the legs are in different directions, They are doing similar things. Can you find a similarity? Can you find a spreading of the awareness? And allow the breath to touch the front, back, sides of the body evenly. Tadasana 2. Reach up high in the strap with your left hand. Take your right hand onto the thigh or hip and take that leg towards your face and out to the side. Again, legs working evenly. So both thighs pressing back, the right thigh down. You can use your hand to help you. Keep that right hip thigh down. Thighs back, extend the inner legs, outer knees to outer hips. Letting the breath touch the front and the back and the sides of the body evenly. And slowly inhale with a straight leg. Take the leg back up to center. Hold both sides of the strap momentarily. And then Uttanasana 3, reaching up on the strap with your right hand, left hand onto the top of the thigh. Press that thigh back. Take the right leg over to the left. Don't let the foot move away from your face as you take that leg over. So keep the left hand on that thigh. So you're pushing that thigh back the whole time. And again, don't let that leg move away from your face. So Sean, take the leg back up to center. Keep that thigh pushing back. And now take the right leg over to the left. But don't let the foot move away from your face. And just go to the edge of sensation. Don't have to go so far. More pain does not make more gain. And slowly inhale, come up. Take both legs in the strap. Heels directly above the hips. So now we're back to symmetrical. But is the back body, the part of the body that is touching the floor, is it evenly touching the floor, the left and right sides? Are the thighs pressing back evenly? Is the abdomen on both sides descending evenly? And that lower back, especially, is the lower back touching evenly? As you extend through the legs evenly, draw the outer knees to the outer hips evenly. Are the arms working evenly? No death grips, of course, but are the arms, they have an even nature in them. So many places to look, so many places to study. And bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, put the strap to the side. Bend your legs into your chest, give yourself a hug. Say something kind to yourself. Take your hands on the face of your knees. Inhale, let your legs move away from you, but keep the hands on the knees. Exhale, take the legs towards you. Inhale, the thighs move away, legs are bent. Exhale, thighs move towards you. Pace of your breath, do this a few times. and do it evenly so you can sense in the lower back, really the kind of top of the buttocks, not so much the lower back. But there's a part there that comes off of the mat and back onto the mat. And can you have it coming off and going back on evenly? For me, that takes a great amount of awareness. And then on your next inhalation, take your feet to the floor. Straighten your legs one at a time. Let the legs fall apart. Take your arms comfortably out to the side. If there's any tenderness in your lower back, you can take your calves on the chair or just bend your legs. Shavasana. As you settle into your Shavasana, can you find an evenness on the two sides, as if you are lying back in sand, sandy beach. And when you come up, you look at that indentation in the sand, there will be a complete evenness. With the torso, with the legs, the arms, with the skull. You begin to feel as if the skin, the flesh is dissolving off of your body, off of the face, off of the neck, off of the whole entire body, melting away, dissolving away. All the tension you hold in your skin, melting away, dissolving away. Without forcing anything with your breath, can you delicately adjust it so that it fills up both lungs evenly, left and right sides? Delicately. And then in our last minute, just allow the breath to breathe you. No control at all. To begin coming out, slowly deepen the inhalation and lengthen the exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor, knees together, feet apart. You feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right. If you'd rather go to the left, go to the left side. Pick a side. Rest your ear into your upper arm. When you feel ready, place your top hand on the floor in front of your heart. Turn your torso towards the floor first. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, come up. Head is last to come up. Come up to sitting. Cross your legs the opposite way you did. Beginning of class. Bring your palms together. Draw your eyes back and down as you turn the corners of your lips up. Observing your practice. What's different? What's changed? Offer gratitude for yourself, for your body, for being here, for bringing you through this class in whatever fashion it did. And let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Gently let your eyelids open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody here in the studio. Thank you, everybody at home. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
You're so welcome.